I am a 20-year-old female college student. During the pandemic my university went on recess, so I was home. I was bored and jobless, so I decided to start making TikTok videos. I wasn't really expecting to be popular or gain any notoriety, I was just doing it for fun. One day I noticed that a blue check mark was commenting on all my videos. This gentleman would come and give me motivation under every video I will post, and whenever comments it brings more traffic to my content. After he commented on several videos, the algorithm picked up on my content and I started getting more views on my videos. The comments encouraged me to want to make more videos and to increase my followers. I was curious about him, so I looked into his content and noticed that we were on different niche. He had an impressive following and I felt flattered that he took his time to comment on my videos. Despite the traffic he brought to my channel, I still didn't have many followers at that time. My videos didn't get a lot of views and likes, but watching his content and following made me determined to build something for myself. So I kept posting. It got to a time I was doing the whole thing for him because I knew he was the only one going to care anyway, and most of the other comments were from people reacting to his comments rather than my actual content. One day he said, "I've commented on all your videos, please do a special video for me." I didn't know what to do, so I posted his comment and did an appreciation video for him. He came into my inbox for the first time and we chatted. He said, "I enjoy watching your content. Immediately after I receive a notification that you've posted, I rush here to watch. You're doing well." I asked him, "What do you think I can do to improve? I've been posting for a while now, but it seems like I'm not growing. Is there something you know that I can do to get many viewers like you?" He answered, "A lot of women are shaking their behind to get views and followers. Don't follow them. Continue doing what you're doing, and you'll attract the people who love what you do." I fell for his depth, and we talk a little more that day. From there, he'll comment on my video and say hi to me in my inbox. It continued for a while, so I figured we should take the friendship a little bit further. I told him, "You haven't asked for my number, but here is it. In case you would want to reach out to me anywhere apart from TikTok, my number can make it possible." He sent a lot of laughing emojis. He said, "I have been meaning to ask for your number, but I didn't know how to go about it. I felt it might give you the wrong impression, so it's the reason I didn't ask. Do you see why I think you're special? Thanks so much." And then he dropped his number too. He called one day. I heard his voice for the first time. He had a nice voice and there was this sense of humility in the way he spoke. He said please a lot and made sure I was comfortable with everything he wanted to talk about. We talked on WhatsApp often. I told him, "For being my biggest cheerleader, I will share my videos here for you before I even post them." I will send him the video and ask him, "How is it? Do you think it's good enough?" He'll say something like, "Just post it as far as you feel good about it." I love it. If you love it too, then just shoots. I live in Dallas, and he live in Albuquerque, more than 10 hours a drive, and more than 15 hours by bus. He is a full-time content creator and make a good living doing it. He had almost 500,000 followers across all his social media platform, and he is 24 years old. We talked about how he grew his followers and how hard he worked to get there, and he always complained about how stressful it is to keep up with interesting content for his followers. He said, "My dream is to open a travel channel and travel around the world making content." He promises to collaborate with me, and we would travel together. That day I opened up to him about the challenges of going to school and what kind of lifestyle I would like to live, and how I would like to take him up on his offer after he opens a new channel. We talked about our families and my siblings. He told me that he is currently living with his mother because they have a big house and his mom wants the family to stay together ever since his dad left them. He has 2 younger sisters. He pays his 2 younger sisters school fees, and they all live in the same house. I told him, "You ought to be grateful for having such notoriety and making money without needed a 9-to-5 job. Some of us would do anything that pays well, but we haven't gotten the opportunity yet." So, he became my motivator in that direction too. One day he told me to be his girlfriend, and I said, "No, it can't work. I would have loved to, but I don't see how this would work. You're in Albuquerque. I'm in Dallas. I am still in college and you're mostly busy. How are we going to manage that? How would that work?" He asked me, "Is that all the problems you have? Then you don't have to worry. Just say yes, and see if we can't do it." I said yes, but I wasn't so sure about how it was going to work. He was a nice guy. He had the right words and act respectful when we talk. I was single and he was single too, so I decided to give it a try and see what would come out of it. Our mode of conversation was always WhatsApp and a call. When we wanted to meet, we met on a video call. It was going well. 2 months later, he asked me, "Have you ever traveled to the western part before?" I said no. I've always been in Texas. I have traveled to Houston and other bigger cities like Austin, but I have never left Texas. I have always wanted to go on a road trip. So, we started making plans for me to travel to New Mexico to go and see him. At first, we couldn't agree on the date. When I could be ready was when he would be busy. My main issue had to do with transportation. I would rather prefer to fly for 3 hours than to drive for more than 10 hours, but due to the pandemic some airlines are not even flying, and the fares are super expensive, and I didn't have much on me. I was hoping he could send me money or book a flight for me, but he didn't make mention of it, and I was also too shy to ask because I didn't want him to think I am doing this for money. I was a college student and had no money. Before the pandemic I worked at Starbucks, but now I am living off the allowance from my parents. I told him, the only time I can travel is at the beginning of a new month. If that's fine with you, then let's go by that. I chose the beginning of the month because that's when I'm mostly paid. We agreed to meet on the 1st of July because the 4th of July was a holiday. It gave us a lot of days to be together. All my life, I hadn't embarked on a journey this long. I am not going to drive. It would take a Greyhound bus up to 15 hours to get there because of the connection, so I would spend an entire day traveling to see him. I remember telling him, if the next 5 hours I'm not in Albuquerque, I will just stop, get a returning bus, and go back to Dallas. He laughed. He said, "You're almost here. Just hold on." The journey lasted forever, but finally, I got to Albuquerque, and I called him. He came to pick me up at the station. There were no surprises. He looked exactly the way I saw him on video. I asked, "Do I look different in person?" I wanted to be sure. He said, "Nothing different. Just you. The girl I always see on TikTok." He lived in his house with his mom and younger sisters. When I entered, I met his younger sister, and we exchanged greetings. He told his sister, "This is the friend that came to see me from Dallas." His sister shook hands with me and gave me a wide smile. We went into his room, and I laid on his bed. I was too tired to sit. It was around 5 p.m. I was very hungry, but this man didn't talk about food. He didn't even offer me water. He left me in the room every now and then. He would go to his home studio and come back several minutes later. Around 7 p.m. he said, "My mom and other sister are in, I didn't tell them about you. And I don't think she would be in support of me keeping you here, so I will get you a hotel." I didn't ask any questions. I followed him to the hotel and got a room. We stayed there until around 8 p.m. when he started getting touchy. I told him, "You didn't offer me food or anything. I've been hungry since I got here." He apologized, stepped out, and came with food. I ate and we continued talking. He resumed being touchy. I was defending myself against his touches. I told him, "I'm too tired for that. It's been a hell of a journey. We have a lot of days ahead of us. Let's talk. Tell me about your family. Tell me about your friends. Where are we going tomorrow? Where are the interesting places in New Mexico? Talk about something." He laid on the bed looking frustrated. It looked like he wanted action than talking. Around 10 p.m., he said he was leaving. I asked, "So I'm going to sleep here all alone?" He answered, "I need to upload some content before the end of the day. I have been delaying it since you got here. I will go today and come tomorrow morning. We'll spend the whole day together and I will be here with you until you finally leave." He left me at the hotel around 11 p.m. I thought he was going to call when he gets home. He didn't call until I fell asleep. I started calling him in the morning, but he didn't pick up my calls. I sent him a text, "Dear, I haven't heard from you since you left. Please call me as soon as you can." The next time I called, his number was off. From Saturday to Sunday, I didn't hear from him. His phone was off all day. So early Sunday morning I left him a message, "Thank you for being the best host in the world. I'm going back to Dallas. God bless you." I got to the reception and the guy there asked me to pay. I was shocked. I thought he paid for it. He answered, "No, he didn't make any payment when you came in." I barely had any money in my account. I paid through my credit card so I wouldn't get an overdraft on my debit card. I sat on the bus, and I started crying. I was playing strong through it all, but at that moment I broke down. I told myself, how could you be so stupid? You traveled all the way here for someone you met on TikTok? Were you dreaming of a happy ending with someone you barely knew? Jessica, you're such a fool. I got back to Dallas and my next TikTok video was about how I traveled all the way to Albuquerque, New Mexico, to meet a boy who wouldn't be there for me. I was laughing about it, but it hurt. For the first time in my TikTok life, I got record views and comments. I got over 100 followers in a week. The highest I'd ever had. Even that couldn't make up for the hollowness I felt inside. 3 days later, I checked my message and he had read the last message I sent him. He was even online. I told myself, he's not worth it. I blocked him. 1 month later, he was back in my inbox apologizing and making me feel like I'm the air he breathes. "I'll come to Dallas and make it up to you. My family and my work made it impossible to come back and see you at the hotel. I can't tell you everything, but give me another chance to meet you again and I'll explain everything in detail."
This story demonstrates how easy it is for celebrities to get laid because of that blue check marks on their social media handle. Most women on social media are very responsive to men with blue check marks on their handle. So let's unpackage this story for a moment. This young lady has been chatting with this blue checkmark content creator for months. She accepted to be his girlfriend. He has probably been thinking about her for months in an intimate way. And when he finally met her, she seemed to be surprised that he wanted to be intimate. I can understand why the guy would be frustrated. Instead of being intimate with him, she wanted to talk about his family and where they're going, etc. Those conversations should have been had before she even went on the trip. A different way to look at this is, this was their first time that they have met face to face. And some women need some time to be comfortable. You have to ease into it. So maybe that was the case. But to travel for 15 hours just to ask basic questions when he had probably been looking forward to being intimate with her for months. On another note, social media has now become the new dating site. There was an article that came out that Instagram is now the #1 dating site. In fact, I saw a dating profile of some girl and she said that her requirement to date a guy is for him to have at least more than 10,000 followers on Instagram. So my point is, most modern women on social media platforms like TikTok, Snapchat, and especially Instagram are very responsive to guys with blue check marks because this is the new form of status in online dating. In the modern dating scene, in some cases, you could be a guy with $1 million in the bank, nice cars, nice mansion, but if you don't have any social media following and you're going up against a guy with more than 100K followers, you will lose because the guy with more followers on Instagram is seen by some modern women as having a higher value than the millionaire. So why is that? That is because in this modern time, fame and status is a highly sought after currency in the dating world. And most women have perfected the art of clout chasing. Being famous is ranked higher to most Western women than money, looks, or anything else. So let's get back to our story. So what lesson can we get out of this story? The young lady felt like she was lower in value, and she felt like she had to be the one to travel for 15 hours to meet the guy. I mean, why didn't the guy travel to meet her? And he sold her a dream and she fell for it. I would be surprised if this was the first time that he tried to hook up with a girl using his blue checkmark status. I hope she have learned her lesson. Get some common sense. No woman is special. If a guy tells you that you're special, don't be surprised when the only thing he wants is to try to get in your pants.